One of my earliest memories is I was probably about 3, and I remember being in a town and my twin brothers were in a buggy, and I just remember everyone stopping and staring at how amazing these twin boys were and how identical they looked in their matching clothes. And I just remember feeling like, what about me? Does anyone care about me? I didn't want to broach the subject of feeling so different, so the only time I used to discuss that is when I felt so hurt and felt so alone. I'd scream things like, "You don't love me, they're always better than what I am, you'll never love me as much as you love them." As I was growing up, I was really bullied at primary school. It got to the stage where I didn't want to go to school. I would remember the assemblies, and we'd be sitting on the hall floor and we'd be singing hymns because the local vicar would come round, and I just remember these 2 older girls kicking me in the back, just saying names and just feeling like I just wasn't good enough. I remember an older woman picking on me in the village. She was terrorising the village. She took a dislike to me, and I just remember her making my life hell. She bullied the family. She threatened to put me in a car and set it on fire. I never really wanted to get close to anybody. I wanted to scream and tell them that I just felt so insecure, and every time I'd have a fallout with a friend at school, I just felt I was the worst person. I can't keep a friend, I can't keep a relationship, I can't do anything positive. So I just felt like I didn't fit in, I didn't belong anywhere. At the age of 15, I was groomed by an older man. He would show me attention, and at that age I was still a child, but I felt grown up and I felt wanted for the first time. I thought, actually, someone wants me for me. Little did I know that the abuse would start to happen. All throughout that relationship, I was bullied. I was made to wear men's clothes. I wasn't allowed out, I wasn't allowed friends. He would tell me things like I wasn't good enough, and he would make fun of me and tell me that, yeah, my parents would never think of me as much as they think of my brothers. He would say that I was ugly, that I wasn't worth anything, that no one would ever want to be with me. I remember the last time he attacked me, he'd held a knife to my throat and sexually assaulted me, and I knew my life, it had to be worth more than that. I had to be worth more than that. I couldn't go through this anymore, and I was just so broken inside, but so many people couldn't see it because sometimes what happens behind closed doors, people don't realise. I just started to hurt myself. I started to cut my skin. It developed from there, really. And I just remember feeling, it felt good for the blood to come out because it felt like it was cleansing me, it was letting the bad out, but really it didn't. It just made me more ugly and have more scars on my body, and it was just as if scars were starting to form on the outside of me, just like they already had on the inside. Everything was harder, and my heart was hardening, and finally the body on the outside was matching what I felt on the inside. I did try to commit suicide, but luckily it didn't work. But at the time I thought, wow, I failed at even that. I remember all my life I've always tried to put on a front that this doesn't bother me, and actually I'm stronger than that, and I would just hide things, even from my parents. I didn't want them to see that I felt this way because it was nothing that they did. It was my fault I felt this way. They didn't do anything wrong. My brothers didn't do anything wrong to make me feel that way. It's just how I felt. And I just just remember that that was the final straw. I knew I couldn't be with this man any longer. I finally managed to pluck up the courage. I'd met up with a school friend. I was just alone and scared. I didn't want to carry on anymore, but this friend helped me to seek advice and to separate, and you know, I actually felt like I did deserve some good things, and maybe life could change. I remember just sitting there and just starting to drink a lot and use alcohol so much. I just felt that after the breakup I still wasn't worthy of love. It felt good at the time, but then there were lots of times that I would wake up feeling so bad, not remembering what I'd actually done. There were instances where I woke up and I was actually covered in my own sick. I'd passed out so much that I was trying to block everything out, but actually it doesn't work like that, because the next morning you're thinking, what did I do? What did I say? How did I let my guard down? And that's actually more worrying. So it just became that I would drink a bottle of wine every day, and then 2 bottles of wine every night, and then I'd drink that during the week, and then the weekends I'd have a bottle of vodka or something, or a bottle of spirit, before I actually even had the confidence to leave the house. My friends then started to talk to me about maybe trying online dating, but I just thought it's another way of people covering up who they really are, and I was quite scared about that. I'd been through that before and I just didn't want to go through that again. But I plucked up the courage to join an online dating website, and I started talking to one man who I thought, this is probably too good to be true. I wanted to meet him in person, because the photos, I just thought, are we going to click, are we not? I thought, let's go and meet. So we've decided to meet up, and from that moment I just knew that he was just different. He was a different kind of guy that I'd never met before. This man, he started to love me for who I was, and even at a time when I didn't know who I was and I didn't know what love was. He was very patient and kind and gentle, and started to make me realise that life could be good. He made sure that my family and me were a lot stronger together. He showed me hugs and affection, something that I just wasn't used to. We got married. Life began to, I mean, it was difficult. We had children, and growing apart sometimes during that time, because you love your children and you want the best for them, and that sometimes means that marriage, you have the worst of each other, because you're both tired from working and dealing with the children. So things were tough for a while. I was diagnosed with fibromyalgia about 10 years ago, where my whole body hurts from head to toe. I was taking so many painkillers. I was on around 46 tablets a day. Things got so bad that I was unable to take my children to school, which hit me really hard. I really got close to my mum. She was really helping me lots. It really made us become so close, and I could talk to her about everything. And I just remember her sitting there while I was crying, and I just remember her I just remember her saying, I wish it was me, Lisa. I wish it wasn't you going through this. The hardest thing is to watch someone who doesn't deserve it go through so much pain and hurt. And I just remember that was a big moment in my life, that I just knew that she would do absolutely anything she could to help me feel better. And we just became stronger, and we started to do more things together. My husband is a postman, and he came across a cross equals love sticker. We didn't know what that meant, so he said, let's Google what it actually is. We found a We found a website for a church in Norwich, and we really liked what we'd seen because it was like no other church that we'd seen before. So I just remember we had planned to go and visit, but we all actually woke up late that morning. So within 5 minutes, everyone was dressed, getting ready in the car. And I just remember pulling up and felt really nervous because I didn't like lots of people. I didn't like, you know, big buildings. It just was something that was totally abnormal to me. But we walked through the doors, and from the moment we walked through the doors, it was just like this overwhelming sense of being home. I remember everyone was smiling and happy and walking around as if there was no care in the world. It was just the place to be. And I just remember being in the salvation moment in church. And I remember the pastor speaking and just feeling like letting my sobbing to come out. It was in my heart, and I knew how bad I felt, but I just remember placing up my hand and just having this gentle voice saying, he's talking to you, you know, this is for you. And I remember putting up my hand and saying the salvation prayer about being sorry for the sins of my past and for things that had gone wrong. And actually now I believe in you, I believe in a God, and now I'm going to start living my life and choosing better choices. And I just remember feeling this overwhelming sense of peace. It was as if no one else was in that room as I placed up my hand. I just remember smiling and looking up to the roof, but looking up to heaven, and just feeling this overwhelming sense of joy and peace, and knowing that from now on my life was going to be totally different. Now it started to make sense, because I thought there's so many people out there who are being bullied, who are being abused, that they need to realise and they need to feel this overwhelming love that I'm feeling right now, the peace that actually I'm not dirty and I shouldn't be ashamed of what I've been through, because what I've been through has made me, and I've become stronger, and I really feel this strong urge to be able to help other people, to let them know it's okay. It was Easter Sunday 2018, and we as a family all got baptised one after another. And I just remember feeling so nervous in front of this whole church of people about to go in the water, and just not knowing really what to expect. But I just remembered as they lifted me back up, the overwhelming sense of joy and peace, and felt like he was just breathing total new life into me. And I knew from that point forward that nothing else mattered, because whatever happened in life, whatever bad things happened, I knew that the Holy Spirit was inside of me, and I was going to be making better choices, and I was going to live this new life. I was going to make the children proud of me, my husband proud of me, my family proud of me, because God wanted the best for me, and I was just determined to share that with other people. Now I manage some groups in the church. I help other women inspire each other to live a better life, to not be ashamed of abuse, to not be ashamed of your past, because God's given me a new future, and I can help others by knowing my past and everything I've been through. God can use that for the good, and He can use me to help reach others that feel forgotten, that feel unloved, and I just want them to feel like I do. We'd learnt about communion, about taking a small sip of wine and breaking some bread, and I remember feeling that this would be my new medicine. I would start to take this every day, maybe even 3 times a day if I needed it, but I would substitute the tablets for taking communion, and just believing that one day things were going to be better. It might not be today, it might not be next week, but it could be, and it will be. And just having that faith of knowing that I will one day be totally healed, it keeps me going. It keeps me hoping for a brighter future. I'm so thankful for my husband, for my children, for the friends and family that I have around me, those that have lifted me when I was at my lowest, for those that have picked me up. And mostly I'm thankful to God. I'm thankful that He never left me. I'm thankful that He was there in the low times, but He also celebrates in the best times. And I'm just so thankful that moving forward, I know that my life is going to be different, because no matter what happens in life, He's never going to leave me. He's going to be by my side. And knowing that I have Him there just makes everything easier to deal with before it even happens.